What up, guys? JP back at you once again, bringing you guys day number 13 in my 13th annual 31 Days of Horror, a series in which we watch and review 31 horror films in 31 days, all during the month of October, leading right up to Halloween. And continuing along with day number 13, I decided to go with a 60s movie. I haven't hit the 60s yet, and that is a film starring Joan Crawford titled I Saw What You Did, from the year 1964, directed and produced by William Castle. Of course, we know William Castle from The Tingler, House on Haunted Hill. He's just a legend in horror history. Pretty awesome dude. I like most of everything I've seen by William Castle, whether he's producing or directing. So yeah, Joan Crawford, of course, from Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, a very classic Hollywood actress, very, very famous. This film is a pretty simple movie, but I thought it was very enjoyable. So it basically follows these two girls, actually three girls. There's a teenage girl and her friend, and then the teenage girl's little sister. Basically, the parents are going out of town for some dinner. The daughter, Libby, is essentially going to be entrusted to be left alone to babysit her sister, and she invites her friend Kit over, K-I-T. And they're just being girls hanging out, and they begin to prank phone call people and, talk to them and say different things, and eventually they get the idea to start saying, I know who you are, I saw what you did, but they accidentally call somebody who has just murdered his wife. So that makes this guy extremely paranoid and worried about what is going on, who saw him, and how they saw him, and he wants to put an end to them. So that's basically your plot. This movie is so cool because it is a product of a different time period, right? First of all, I mean, it's way before the time period I grew up in, but there were still similarities to how I grew up. I grew up prank calling people, I grew up before caller ID was in every home. And there's just something super, super enjoyable and charming about a time period in which two girls are just hanging out on a weekend, and they are left to entertain themselves, right? There's no internet, there's no real technology outside of a phone book and a phone, which I think there's only five numbers to each of the numbers they dial or something. But it's really a enjoyable experience to sort of go down memory lane of the era before all the technology that we have now. It has such an old school it's actually a perfect movie for the October season because I get very nostalgic during the October season, and thinking back, this was bringing back such ancient memories of me and my friends prank phone calling people, or just also hanging out at a friend's house and just sort of being face to face. That level of connection doesn't exist as much anymore because everybody's people hanging out is playing Xbox together in separate houses. You know what I mean? It's so different, and it was very refreshing to sort of visit a movie like this. And it's actually done really well too. It's on the lines of a thriller, but it's definitely kind of scary. So at some point in the film, they figure out where this guy's at, and they decide to drive to his house and just to see him. But Libby is kind of a little interested in him, a little bit more than just talking on the phone. So she ends up getting out of the car and sneaking up to his window, and she knocks over a plant, and he comes to the window, and then she hides, and then he walks away, and she's looking at him. But there's a really, really cool scene where she is essentially standing at the window, and he's facing away from her, but there's a mirror in front of him, so he could see her reflection outside the window in the mirror. That scene is really, really cool and very creepy. And there's another scene involving like a similar situation with a window later on in the movie. And I just thought both of those were very effective. The whole third act of the film is like filled with fog, and it's really creepy. So that was cool as well. The little sisters got a little bit of comedic relief. I can't remember if her name was like Sarah or something. But they actually remade this film in the late 80s. I remember seeing it before for, I think it was a TV movie. And I want to say that one of the girls from Full House is in it, but I can't remember for sure. I think this is just like such a creative, cool, simple story that just works so well. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was super fun. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. Definitely worth watching if you've never seen it. This one comes out from Scream Factory, which I've had this in a collection for quite a while. But yeah, so with that said, I'll see you guys tomorrow with another review. Peace.